Do you want to know how to do keyword research for YouTube videos? Well, today, Sophie and I are going to be talking about how to do that keyword research for YouTube videos. And on top of that, how to do SEO for those videos. So they're not just, there's more to it than just finding a good keyword. So I hope that you're going to get a lot of value out of this, and we're really happy to see you. And once again, welcome to Entrepreneur's Toolbox. My name is Jonathan and this is Sophie, and we are here to help you find the tools to make income online. And so we are going to dive right into it today. So we are talking about how to do keyword research for YouTube videos. How to do keyword research for YouTube videos. This is actually something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, that because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Sophie, when you got started on YouTube, did you know what YouTube actually is? What YouTube really is?
Absolutely not. I mean, for a long time, I had no idea. And it's really when I got talking with you, Jonathan, that I learned all about this. So yeah, I was completely ignorant.
And the thing is, YouTube is a search engine. I mean, there's other algorithms that are in the back that you have suggested as well. But first and foremost, YouTube is a search engine. And actually, the second largest search engine on the planet, only followed by Google, which Google owns YouTube. So think about that. So Google owns the two largest search engines on the planet. One is based on text and one is based actually on video or text. We'll see. We'll see. There's the question. So YouTube is a search engine first. So this is how we find keywords that are going to get discovered. And you can understand how search engine SEO works when you're looking for your keywords that are going to work really well. And that's why you want to find those low-hanging fruit. And, you know, low-hanging fruit basically means that if I was going to search for this particular keyword, for instance, this video that we're doing right now, we're going to do that. You could look at something like this. The actual keyword that we're going after in this video is how to do keyword research for YouTube videos in 2021. Because that's a very long keyword, and yeah, you're just like, who's going to type that in? But there are people that are typing that in, and that is the reason why I chose that keyword, because it's going to actually be discovered by people. And then you can go with things that are like a little bit longer tailed keyword, I guess higher hanging fruit. You could do things like keyword research for YouTube videos. Yeah, you might be able to discover, but there's going to be a lot more competition, and you know that includes that. So, but here's the thing. I might also get discovered for that part of the keyword, but I've also get discovered for the longer part of the keyword. And then if you want to be really, really difficult and go after that real high hanging fruit, you pick something that's like one or two words, like YouTube SEO. My channel is relatively small as far as subscribers or, you know, weight. So I might not be able to rank for something like YouTube SEO. You know, but that doesn't mean that I can't rank for something like how to do pardon me. That doesn't mean that I can't rank for something like how to do keyword research for YouTube videos in 2021. And Sophia, I mean, like, if you want to like elaborate on a little bit of like how you do your keyword research or find those, I'll bring up the next slide 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, really, this is such an important thing to understand, because, yeah, when I started, I would just put a random title, and what you just said, Jonathan, you know, what you just shared, if you find these long keyword phrases that people are looking for, so, you know, enough people are looking for them, but there's not too much competition. It's really it really helps our videos get discovered and our channel get more views. So yeah, that's the whole difference.
Yeah. Between keywords versus keyword phrases.
Exactly. Sorry, Jonathan, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I interrupted you. No. Keywords versus keyword phrases.
Okay, there you go. So you know, a keyword would be just one or two keywords, rather, but a keyword phrase is precisely what Jonathan was talking about, like how to find good keywords for your YouTube channel or something like that. Many people are actually searching for long phrases like that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Let's see, and then there's things like different tools. For instance, to find these. You don't need these things to get started. Let me get to that point right off the bat. These are 3 tools that I personally use, and I know Sophie's used these as well. I know that 2 of them, VidIQ and TubeBuddy, also have free levels. MorningFame doesn't have a free level, but both of those other ones, they're Chrome extensions, and they help give you extra analytics on your YouTube video that you would never get. It's part of YouTube, but it's not just on the surface. And these tools bring all these little analytics and put them in something that you don't have to know computer code or dive deep into the analytics. It brings it to the surface, stuff that, I think, in all honesty, I feel that YouTube should bring to the surface anyways. If they want us to be successful on their platform, they should. But these tools, they help bring that to the surface so you have more potential to be discovered. So let me just get 1 second. And let me bring up a tab. I want to show you exactly. I personally use MorningFame. My process is I go and I search on YouTube and I see if things are, if VidIQ and TubeBuddy say, oh, this is something that you should take a look at. This is a keyword that might be okay. So I take that, and once I'm satisfied with what VidIQ and TubeBuddy, which you don't necessarily need both of them, I just do it's only a couple bucks a month, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But it tells me that is something that I potentially look after, then I go to MorningFame. So I'm going to just bring up a MorningFame tab so you could kind of see the process of what I do in order to get my SEO with MorningFame. Give me 1 second. What's that? Sophie, why don't you tell them your process while I'm doing this?
Yeah, okay, yeah, absolutely. I do a very similar process to yours, Jonathan. So I will go to YouTube and I type something in the YouTube search bar. I see what comes up, and then I see how that does on VidIQ. I don't really look at TubeBuddy. And then when I find a good keyword phrase, I take it to MorningFame, and this is what my screen looks like, exactly like yours.
So, hey, what's up, Robo Quotes? Yeah, TubeBuddy is the tool that I absolutely love. I love TubeBuddy and VidIQ. When people try and compare the two, I'm like, if you're in it for business, there's really no reason why you can't. I mean, VidIQ, they're like $10 a month-ish. They're not, if you're doing a business, then $10 a month for a tool is nothing when in the long scheme of when you're doing stuff. So absolutely, TubeBuddy is a great resource. I'm glad that you love it. But let me just show you, like I do use TubeBuddy, but as far as writing out my SEO, I use something like this, MorningFame. So let me just show you. I'm not gonna be able to see the comments for a second, but I'll show you. So this is kind of, you go here and you could search for different topics and enter links. You could enter a link if you want to like reverse hack a video that's doing well. Or it also suggests, hey, these videos are doing well. You should, these are videos on my channel that are doing well. And it says, hey, you should make more videos like this. So then hey, this is the direction that will grow my channel. That's part of the reason I really love this tool. I could go deeper into this. Let me know in the comments if you want me to make more content on MorningFame and different ways to actually get more views on your channel using MorningFame, because it's one of my favorite tools. But say I enter a keyword, it brings up a tab where you have the keyword and let me actually just show you. I'm going to take, this is the keyword. This is the SEO for the video that you're watching right now. So if I went here, I went to topic. So I'm not sure if it's going to open it up in a new tab. Might open up in a new tab, but if I search for it, it'd bring up the next tab, and you can see how you're going to rank, and then you could say, it gives you other suggestions, and then you could go to search and it will say, oh, you need this, you have enough views, likes. And then another thing is it tells you what video you have to beat in order to get there. So you say, oh, is there anything in this video that I could do better? Anything that I could do better than what they did? So let me see, and then you can go to optimize, and I think it's just, my video is still there. So on here, you have your keyword. I like adding a little extra hook. So this is like SEO complete guide. And then that's also searchable. I always put the keyword in my title, and then I always put the keyword at the beginning of and I talked about this earlier, or I haven't talked about it yet. I'm going to talk about it. But you can also have a link above the fold. You want to have above the fold. And then you write your description. Here's actually one of the best things. So it helps you find really good tags, and tags don't necessarily help you rank your video, but they do give your video some weight, and it helps classify your video. Because the thing that I keep on, YouTube is a search engine, and a search engine based off of text. So everything is text-based. You're like, how can it be text-based? It's a video. It is text-based because everything in your video, everything you tell YouTube gets turned into something that becomes searchable, because it is a search engine that you search text with. So these are all things that become searchable. And then it helps you write a very thought out and SEO rich description, because when people are searching for your video, this is one of the things that they're searching for. You want to hit your main keyword at least 3 times in full in your video. Look, it told me that I did that. It told me these different keywords that stand out, different things that I hit. So absolutely. And then another little thing that you could do is you could also upload your thumbnail here, and it will show you different things like, oh, look at it in different sizes. People don't think about this very often, that, hey, it's smaller thumbnail on a desktop. If you're on a tablet, it's a little bit bigger. If you're on a phone, it's a little bit bigger. But I want to be able to get somebody, no matter what platform they're on, they're not going to get a different thumbnail if they're on a computer versus on a phone or a tablet. And then also, what if it's embedded? Look, what if, is there any vital information that's covered up? This little, the running time in the bottom right corner, is there something that might be covered up by the running time? So all these little things in these tools do help you, do your keyword research, as well as this is something that I'm going to dive into in a moment. But the Vision AI is something that Google scans your thumbnails, and it will tell you what it thinks about it. So this is a good way. So like, I got greens here, so that's good. If I saw any reds here, I'd have to go back to the drawing board and say, oh, Google had some red flag in my thumbnail. It will tell you what I might need to do to tweak it, and then I could adjust what I'm doing. So this tool is it's one of my favorite SEO tools. I do still love VidIQ and TubeBuddy, but I always end my SEO with MorningFame because it just gives me such value with all this. So, and I think that you do a similar process, right, Sophie?
I do. And I do find, I must say, MorningFame is very specific to our channel, right? So it's not only telling us how good a keyword is for, or keyword phrase is generally, but also specifically for our channel. I think it's really, really helped me nail things down and get more views, definitely. Absolutely.
So, how's it going, Chris? Yeah, Chris Bailey. Sorry, I knew that. I just was I'm loving your quotes on YouTube. All your quotes, they're very inspiring. Keep it up. I love them. But
absolutely. Hi, Chris. Lovely to see you here.
So let me just bring back up our slideshow, and let me just get back to that. And this is a perfect example. Sophie and I decided to do this training, and we started messy. So anybody that's starting anything, start messy. Figure it out as you go along, and you will get better slowly and steadily. So bring this up. So here's the question. So the next thing that we were going to ask about is, what if you have no ideas? So you have no idea what you're going to make. I showed you in MorningFame. There's a few little things that one second. In MorningFame, there's a few things that you could do to get ideas. They give you some suggestions, but what if you have no idea? And what's up, JJ? How's it going? Great to see you.
Hey, hi.
And this is the number one thing that most people completely overlook. And they think something that the YouTube search bar. What did I say earlier? YouTube is what? It is a search engine. So if you could find out what people are already searching for, and you could find it out from the platform that you're trying to grow on, just find out what people are already searching for. You could use things like VidIQ. That's why I love VidIQ. It will tell you the competition and all those different things. So they're tools that I think are vital. But if you could find out what it is, it autofills. Look, I just typed in how to do keyword and for YouTube. What do you know? That's one of the most common things that search for keyword research on YouTube. I didn't even type in for YouTube. So think about those things, and then you could dive deeper into it and even find maybe possibly a longer string keyword and do some research. This is not something that you're just going to do instantly. Another one is, this is a great resource. If you've never heard of this, Answer the Public. sometimes you just have no idea what you're going to, make your video about. And again, you're just trying to answer questions that people already have. That's the kind of the idea behind YouTube. You want to create content before the person asks the question. Yes, but then you could find out if people have already been asking this question. Then you could serve the people that are going to ask the question again. And Answer the Public is great. It gives you Answer the Public. They give you things like this. I just typed in, so in this example, YouTube video ideas, and it gave me something like this. It's a little blurry. I don't know why. But you've said different are statements, how statements, where statements. Like what are YouTube video ideas, like different things like that. And this may not even be the end all of how you do your video or like what you're going to do your video on, but it could just trigger those things that you will get that idea that you never even thought of. So look at these tools, do these things. And then another one example, Quora. Quora is a great place. People are asking these questions. And the thing that I love about Quora is that I just typed, to get these ones that are on the screen right now, I just typed in the word YouTube. And then the next morning I woke up and I had a bunch of emails from Quora with similar questions. Like, yeah, I mean, some people don't want a bunch of emails, but all those questions that came in my email were like, oh, wow, these are all great video ideas. So I instantly had video ideas that I was able to use potentially on future videos. I just do a little research and look into it, but I got all these ideas just because I searched the word YouTube on Quora. That's it. I know you get ideas off Quora too, right, Toby?
I mean, Quora is a great place to get ideas. As people ask questions, you can find the questions. And as you said, Jonathan, I mean, once we start answering a few questions, people will actually ask, at least for me, they've asked me directly a question. And as you say, then we get emails, and so it's a mine. It's a gold mine of information, really. And we can be positioned as an authority as well. By the way, it's a good, but it's a great place to get ideas. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And this is another one: Facebook groups. It doesn't have to be yours. It doesn't have, like, I can go hang out in Sophie's Facebook group and steal all her people's ideas. No, I'm not going to do that. But you can go to anybody. It could be some super big Facebook group, and you don't need to worry. You just ask a question. Hey, you can also just sit in there and look at the questions that people are asking. And if you know the answer, make a video. And the next time that somebody asks that question, you say, hey, go check out my YouTube channel. I actually made a video that answers this exact question. So don't think, it doesn't even necessarily have to be that person that just answered your question or that asked the question the first time. If there's one person asking the question, there's going to be somebody else asking that same exact question. So you may be able to serve that person, but you're going to serve somebody. You're finding ideas. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I may just add, Jonathan, as well, I mean, Facebook groups, particularly big Facebook groups, sometimes you see someone asks a question, or says something, I'm having trouble with this, and then you see a string of comments, and people are all saying, yes, I'm struggling with this too, or I don't know how to do this either. And that gives you a great indication that it's a good question that, many people are struggling with. Happens more in bigger groups, of course, but that's just search for the questions, see how many comments there are, and you on to a good topic for a video.
Yeah, and that's a perfect example. You were talking about being in somebody else's group, that not your group, a big group. So you can go and get ideas. You're like, oh man, I have no audience. It doesn't have to be your audience. Go see what somebody in a similar niche as you, the questions that are being asked. And you can serve somebody else's audience, and then they become your audience, because that's basically how this all works. We serve people and we share audiences because people will pick who they want to follow.
Exactly.
So, and this is another one. I mean, this is a newer app, and I love this app personally. Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a great way because I talked about it a little bit earlier about how you can just go into Clubhouse and recommend your videos, but you could also just go into Clubhouse and listen to the questions that people answered. Like earlier today, we were doing a Clubhouse Q&A question, like a Q&A on YouTube, and people were asking questions. And it's like, just because it's obvious to me, sometimes we are cursed with knowledge. We are cursed with knowledge. So we think, oh, this person knows like doesn't know what we know. Sometimes like there's things that Sophie has taught me that I had no idea about. And there's things that I've taught Sophie, but in my head, I'm like, oh, doesn't everybody know this? And I'm sure it's the same thing with Sophie. So we going into those rooms and actually getting ideas is a great way to actually come up with, like we're talking about keyword research. It will give you ideas. Maybe it's just something and you can go to things like Answer the Public or different things to get longer string ideas for your keywords from resources like this. And then this is another one. I'm gonna actually bring this one up. I wanted to show people. It's a tool that I've used. It's called a headline analyzer tool. And Sophie, if you want to maybe talk a little bit more about Clubhouse, and I'll bring up that tab.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Clubhouse is also fairly new, and but as Jonathan says, I mean, it's a great place where you could, yeah, you can share ideas. You can, if you have precisely like we do a Q&A room, that gives a great opportunity to serve people because you're helping them out with their questions and get great ideas about what people are struggling with. And just like Jonathan said, I mean, sometimes we are really cursed with knowing too much or thinking that everybody knows what we know. Sometimes people have the simplest questions that we can help them with, and that's just brilliant way to get ideas.
Exactly. So, so I brought up this tool. I love this tool. If you've never used it, it's just the website is just headlines.coschedule.com, and then there's options for the headline. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to put in the keyword for this video. So I'm just using this video that you're watching right now as an example. So I'm going to hit analyze. And what it does is I'm going to click it so it gives me the SEO score as well. I don't need making me wait the countdown before I get the pop-up. There we go. It wants me to pay. But if you can see, like, you could look at the headline. A powerful thing about this is it shows you, did you hit these certain words? There's power words, things like that. And maybe it will give you ideas for, oh, if I use this word instead of this word, then you can go back to things like YouTube or VidIQ or MorningFame or TubeBuddy and just go like, oh, what if I use this word? Then you dive in. It's like, oh, wow, this word is actually also being searched for. And the things that you never had, that you never knew people were searching for, this is one great tool. And then you can click on SEO tool, and it's actually going to show you the search. This is completely free as well. This is something that's also in VidIQ and TubeBuddy. But look, average monthly search. It's a lot of people searching for this term that I'm making this video on. But search competition, there's not a lot of people making content for this term. That's the idea. I found something, and I went to this. This is another. I guess the best way to put it is it's another thing that's reassuring that I made a good decision on my keyword. So you can't have enough verifications on your decision.
Yeah, I must say you make such a good point, Jonathan, and I want to emphasize this because at one point I didn't realize this. You have to have the two things, especially when you're a smaller YouTube channel. You have to have enough people searching for it, but not too much content already produced on the topic, so that you have a chance to rank for it, right? And if you find that sweet spot, then that's brilliant.
I'll show you this example. So we were talking about keyword research for YouTube. How about that? That's a shorter keyword, right? So we're going to reanalyze it. Hopefully, look at that. Much lower headline score. Let's check the SEO score. Oh, wow. Look at that. 35. Now we're going to go down. Here's the issue. It's farther towards the red. Yes, people are searching for it. That's great. But it's farther towards the red. So I am not going to get as much potential exposure because I have so much more competition. So many other people targeting this particular word. But if you go back to the one that the longer stream, the low hanging fruit, you're going to get so much more value. so much more. You're going to be able to actually serve that audience. And then the thing is, this keyword research for YouTube, maybe I rank for it, but it's included in my long string keywords. So it doubles up my possibilities. So let me go back to the slide. 1 second. Just let me bring up the other slide. Still figuring, this is what we were talking about. We're starting messy and we're starting to get comfortable doing lives. So let me just bring that up and I will show the slideshow. There we go. And back up to the slides. So we have the headline analyzer tool, and these will tell you exactly what people are looking for. And I think that's the key thing that I keep emphasizing, that you want things that people are already looking for. All right. So our next topic that we wanted to go over was content structure. This is something I know that we're talking about keyword research and SEO, but content structure is huge. And it's something that most people don't even think about, that it is actually part of SEO and search engine optimization. You can't just throw a video. Have you ever heard of clickbait? That's bad content structure. So YouTube is a text search platform. Key thing, it's a text-based search platform. And what I mean by that is it's not, you're like, oh, it's video. Well, how is this text? I'm watching a video. The description, you have the title, you have tags, you have your closed captioning, you have every bit of information that you're giving when you're uploading your video. All those things are classified, and that's what gets searched, including the thumbnail as well. And I was talking about the Google Vision AI earlier. That actually turns the thumbnail and takes the thumbnail and it scans it and creates all the data to try and put that video in front of the right person with as much text-based information as possible. Again, text-based. I know it's a video, but the only thing that you could search with text is text, not a video. Just think about that. So, and it's an audience first platform. So you got to think, I know it's called YouTube, but the U is referring to the audience, not you, not the creator. It's about the audience. So what is going to serve the audience best? So content structure helps your videos. So we have things like the hook, the story, and the offer. So Sophie, could you tell them a little bit about what a hook is? Like, how would you structure a hook in order to have better keyword research and SEO for your video? What would you do for your hook?
Well, again, the first thing I'll always try to do in my videos is use the keyword straight away. So I always try to hook my audience, the viewer, tell them straight away what the video is about. The whole idea is to get them hooked, to make them want to watch the video, right? So it's telling them what it's about, creating, if possible, a bit of curiosity, making them want to watch the video. That's what it is.
Yeah, if you notice at the very beginning of this video, if you rewatch this, the first thing that I said was the keyword for this video. It gives more weight because once this video is done, YouTube is going to actually take the video and create a text version of it for it to be scannable. You could also upload your own in subtitles, and I will get to that in a little bit. But then also there's the story. And what is the story, Sophie?
Exactly. So the story is really the content, right, in your video. It's whatever your video is about. So if it's a tutorial, then it's the whole tutorial. If it's recording your journey when you're filming your holiday, right, that's what it is. Or maybe it's a recipe, or maybe it's a course review. It's the bulk of your video. So the story's really got to deliver what your video promised, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could use this as an example. The story of this video that you're watching right now is teaching you how to get that keyword and take it into SEO and actually rank it properly, because there's more to it than just finding the video. And that is the story of this video. And then that leads to what the CTA or call to action or the offer, depending on what you're doing. But how would you do that, Sophie?
Exactly. So this is really, what do we want the viewer to do next? Okay. So, at the end of the video, it's very important to give a call to action. You can ask the viewer or suggest to your viewer to watch the next video, another related video, or maybe you would like them to click a link that's in the description of your video, either to join, get something free in exchange for their email address, or click the link to buy a product, or leave a call to action could also be, give the video a like and leave a comment with giving feedback or asking a question, or anything like that, really. But it's super important to tell people what to do, because people will often not do it unless you ask them to, right?
It's exactly, Sophie. And I think that's a really powerful thing. And the thing that goes over so many people's heads when they're just starting this is that the call to action could be like, it's something as simple as this. Like at the end of my video, it's like, hey, go watch this video next. Like it's showing up on my screen. I'm like, go watch this video next, whatever, or I could say, hey guys, if you've got value out of this review of this product that I have, go check the link in the description. It's not me telling them they have to go buy. I'm giving a call to action. If I don't say it, how do they know there's a link in the description with the link, and then they potentially buy through my link? And if I've given value, that's I don't want somebody to buy from me if it's not right for them. That's my ethics. I don't want somebody to buy from me if it's not right for them. That's why I only do honest reviews and things that I feel that I can get behind. I don't, still I can go on a rant about that for a little while, but yeah, it's like, if you don't tell somebody something's there, then it's not going to be there. So if you've delivered value through your hook gets them to do, your story keeps them watching. And then your hook call to action, if you've delivered in the story, then the people that are meant to click that next thing are going to. And then if you don't have anything else for them to do, just point out another video, because it's better for them to watch another one of your videos next than to some strangers. So.
Absolutely. And I will add that, we've got to think in terms of the viewer. The viewer doesn't necessarily know that you have a whole playlist on that topic that could be useful, or that there is a link in the description or in the pinned comment. You have to tell people where to find the information, right? That's super important, really. What have we next on the menu?
What's next on the menu? All right. So the next thing that we want to go on, and like, again, it may seem like it's a little off topic for keyword research, but I find that this is all part of keyword research, and it's SEO, keyword research, they all fall into the same bucket. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about is actually creating your videos. So how do you create your videos? This is huge. Plan out your thumbnails. And when I say plan out your thumbnails, I don't mean just like grab your phone and just go, all right, I'm just going to take a picture. Oh, done. All right, I'm going to put that in there. All right. If you want to think about how it's going to get people to want to click on it, what is going to stop somebody from scrolling? What's going to make them do that? Because again, and it also has to be clean, and the Google Vision AI has to like it, because it's going to classify those things. So plan your thumbnail before you even hit record or go live. This video, for instance, I had a thumbnail prepared. I looked at it. I scanned it with the Vision AI. I showed it to a couple people. They gave me their opinion on it, and I decided. And if it's not working, I can always go back and change it. But if no one clicks on your video, no one's going to watch your video. So think about that. If nobody clicks on your video, nobody's going to watch it. So if you think about the thumbnails that you click on. Why do you click on them? What pulls you in on those thumbnails? What's making you click on them? If it's just some person with the same photo in every single video, just doing like, or whatever, and they just change the title, are you going to click on that, or is it just going to become blurred, part of the crowd, part of the mess? If it just looks like every thumbnail, what's the difference? Like I was just listening to somebody actually on CLUBHOUSE the other day, and they were talking about how they recommended that somebody change their thumbnails to just black and white, because nobody else in their niche was doing black and white. Next thing you know, their channel blew up because they were doing something different that drew attention to them.
Yeah. So, yeah, the thumbnail's got to hook the people too, hasn't it? It's got to grab people's attention.
Yeah, and if you wouldn't click on it, you got to ask yourself, if you saw this thumbnail, would you click on it? Like, would you click on this thumbnail? If you wouldn't click on it, it's not a good thumbnail. And that's going to decide if your video is going to actually work, because again, if nobody clicks on it, your video is not going to do well. So, and here's an example of one of my bad thumbnails. This is hey, we all learn. I had to learn how to make a good thumbnail. But look at that. That's kind of an embarrassing number. 0.0.
Maybe not as embarrassing as my old thumbnails.
Hey, but I could go back and I could update this, but then I wouldn't have this great example of a bad thumbnail. but and this is like we were talking about how you change. Like, I mean, yeah, 0.6% is a really low click-through rate. But then I want to show you the one of my thumbnails that has done a lot better. This has done a lot better. Look, I've had close to over 500,000 people see this thumbnail, and 9.6% of them have clicked on it. And so that means that, do the math, that's, was that 50, 60 something thousand people that clicked on that. And this video is still ranking. I still get people because since I've done this, I try to go a little bit less on how many words I use now, like limit as many words. But yes, you got to think about best. This spoke to exactly what this video is about, and people clicked on it. And it's also a topic that I researched, and it worked. So focus on your thumbnails. You will get things that have this type of click-through rate. And then again, scan it with Google Vision AI. If you don't know what that is, you can either get it through MorningFame or a lot of other places, but just go to Google and Google Vision AI, and it's completely free. Check it out, scan all your thumbnails before you upload. And this is what it will give you. Something like this. It will scan your face, tell you all the different features. If there's any red flags, it will let you know. And it will try and put it in front of the right people.
Yeah.
It's like, and then now we were talking about creating your videos. It's like, do you need gear, camera, audio, lights? Like, what do you think that I'm using right now? Yes, I'm using a camera, but and I have a microphone and I have a little side light, but the majority of the light hitting me right now, do you know what that is? It's the window, because I'm not home right now. I don't have my usual setup, but I use the window. I use what I had, and that's what everybody getting started should do. Use what you have.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I really want to emphasize that. It's too many people let these things stop them, and it's just such a shame. Start with what you have and just go for it. That's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it's like, again, you just said this, use what you already have. So, and upgrade as you go. Like I was mentioning, I have a microphone, a light, and a camera and computer that I have in front of me, and all that was funded from my channel. But it's because I shot my first 80 videos on my YouTube channel with my cell phone that barely worked, and then I edited all of it on a 10-year-old old Mac Mini, and I didn't even have a screen for it, so I plugged it into a TV. So you could do this with anything. Like, just start with whatever you have. And let me just bring this up. Just focus on bringing value first, and then buy new gear as you go. But this is a good example of the types of things that you. Sophie, if you want to quickly go over this real quick.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. You can record with your phone if you have nothing else, right? You can use a window for lighting if you don't have light. It works very well. When you can upgrade your audio first. The audio is the most important, really, after giving value, which is even more important. If you're worried, then you can use some tools to help with your camera confidence. There's very cheap teleprompter apps that cost about, I don't know, $10 or something. Or you can have a slideshow, just like we have, that just guides you as you're going to talk through your video. Mm-hmm. And, edit with the software that came with your computer or your phone. I mean, iPhones have iMovie. Any computer has a basic video editing software. You can just use that. And when you can afford a video editing software that's a little bit more expensive, well, then that costs a little bit. Just go for that. But start with what you've got and then upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I mentioned, I was using a 10-year-old Mac Mini, and it had iMovie on it. That's what I was using to edit my first 80 videos. And I mean, I could have got out the credit card and done it, and like bought something bigger, but you know what? I didn't have to do that. I delivered value using what I had. And I think that is something that I just want to hammer in. Don't get discouraged if you don't have the gear. I always say, like, so I come from a film background, and I've been making content for professionally for well over 15 years. And now, if I had this when I got started, oh my gosh, like this is such a powerful tool that, I mean, like when I was doing it, I was shooting on VHS and transferring things in real time. And it's like, we have so many tools at our disposal. Just take advantage of them, please.
Absolutely. And I can confirm that. I mean, I did exactly the same thing. I used free stuff, free video editing software, and I just improved as I went along, but really it did the job absolutely fine.
And just level up each time. Get 1% better each video. That's all you could do. It's all a learning process. We're all going, like, I'm going on a journey right now. I come from a world of being behind camera, and I had to get comfortable being on camera because, this is something I chose to do. And but we all get better every video. Like this is my second longer live that I've done. And I'm thankful to have Sophie here just to, we partner with people, like figure those things out, just improve. And every time, like, I'm sure that my next live that I do, I'll be a little bit better, but I wouldn't have gotten to that next live if I didn't do this one. So just think about that.
Yeah, that's just so true. Absolutely.
So next thing that I just wanted to go over is uploading and optimizing your YouTube videos. So uploading and optimizing. So we were talking about writing a SEO rich script. We had shown you some stuff in MorningFame that you could highlight those different keywords. You want to make sure that those keywords are actually popping up in your SEO, and that I always use at least the primary keyword at least 3 times in my SEO, and then I use secondary ones, which I also use as tags. Tags are a great way to figure out those secondary keywords that you could target. And yeah, just write an SEO-rich description, and that will really help your video, because so many people, they don't understand that YouTube is a search engine. So you need to give it words to search. So, and then this is another thing. I'm just going to go through a couple different things that you could do, just like hit these points when you're uploading your video. And I'm just going to go through them real quick, just so you guys have the information. So adding a link above the fold. Above the fold comes from like the newspaper days when you'd have a newspaper and it would be like, I don't even have anything around me that I could display. It's like, it's a fold. You have the newspapers folded over. So what's the most valuable real estate in a newspaper? It's the front page. And then you open it up and that's below the fold. So you want to be above the fold with whatever your call to action is. If you're telling, so let me, like this is an example of one of my videos. Look at that. I don't want somebody to have to click show more for them to see that link that I want them to click on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's really important. So often I see people, they have the links right at the bottom. You have to throughout the whole description, and we've always got to keep in mind, people's attention spans are low. People want immediate information. So if you have it in those first 3 lines above the fold, it's there. You can tell them, click this link. They see it straight away, and it's these little things that can make a big difference.
You're taking an obstacle out of the way is what you're doing. Yeah. So you could do that, and then another one that it could be the same call to action that you have above the fold, a pinned comment. You could add a comment, and then if you go to, you could get something like this. It will show pinned by Entrepreneur's Toolbox with Jonathan. And then you could have the link, or however you want to format it. It could just be a quick blurb and then a link, and then more people are going to see that. You're giving them 2 opportunities to see whatever you want them to do next. And again, that could just be watching another video. It could be a link to another YouTube video on your own channel. So when you're doing that stuff, like this is actually this video that we're doing. So I have my description and my title. See, I put this link. It's actually going to be above the fold there. And then you want to add in your thumbnail. We talked about doing a very good thumbnail that's clickable. And you could add this. This is just, if you go to when you're uploading your video, this is what you're going to see. So thumbnail, I use a tool called Thumbnail Blaster to do my thumbnails. And again, I'll drop a link in the description and up here if you want to check out that. But I'm not going to go too deep into the actual thumbnail right now because I have already done a video about it. So just check that out if you're interested. But you could add it in here, or if you're using Thumbnail Blaster, you could actually just upload it directly from that software because it links with your YouTube channel. You always want to add your video into at least 2 playlists. At least 2 playlists. And this is a great way to, when you're sharing playlists, you're able to, get more people to watch your videos. It will help your video rank. And then you could link things like if you have different keywords, say you have similar keywords that you've targeted and you put them together, you can put them all in one playlist so it's a similar topic. And then this is another audience. YouTube is very protective of children, and I'm happy for that. So you just have to tell them if this is meant for children and there's restrictions. Don't lie about this. If it's meant for kids, say it's meant for kids. If it's not, then just say it's not meant for kids. Perfect. And then another one is if it's paid promotions, just let them know if it's a paid promotion. And by that, I don't mean an affiliate link. I mean, say a company you're partnering with actually pays you a certain amount per video that you put out or something like that. Or you ever see those commercials in the middle of a YouTube video? It's like, hey, so-and-so VPN. It's like, whatever, I see those all the time. Those are paid promotions. Those aren't necessarily like a link because they're not trying to get you to click on an affiliate link. You're putting a commercial in the middle of your video. So, but if you're not doing that, if it's affiliate link, just do that. But then there's tags. You want to add in the tags. And again, you could use tools like VidIQ, TubeBuddy, MorningFame, or you could even just go to other videos that are similar to yours to get ideas for tags. Just make sure it's relevant to your video. Then you could add in and this comes down to what we were saying about how YouTube is a text-based platform, not video-based, because you can't actually, yes, there's video, but it's all down to text, what's going to be recommending and the algorithms behind it. So you want to say, what language is it? Give it as much information as possible. What type of license? Allow embedding. You want to notify the subscribers. And then that's another thing. This is a newer feature right here. Shorts permissions. That means that people could sample your videos and then put them into shorts. This is something that just came out. You could put what category and then how restricted you want to be on comments. And this is if you are monetized through the YouTube Partner Program. Again, through the YouTube Partner Program, I want to remind you there are so many other ways to monetize a YouTube channel, and this is my least favorite way because it makes me the least amount of money. And then this is another new thing that they've actually added for monetization, where you could talk about ad suitability, and it's just basically telling them, hey, man, I'm going to put a red flag on my own video so YouTube doesn't put the wrong type of ad on your video. So if you think it's more mature content, then they're not going to put like a kid's ad or something like they're trying to find the appropriate video. So give them as much information as possible whenever it's appropriate. And then if none of it's relevant, none of the above, hit submit rating, and it's done. And then now this is something else that we wanted to talk about: video elements. This is actually a huge thing. So we were going to talk about you have subtitles, end screens, and cards. So I wanted to bring up subtitles is a huge thing. You can either add it here once the video is processed, or you can go to your YouTube studio and add it in after the fact. And there's a couple hacks that you could use to get subtitles that are a little bit better. And if you could do them for free, or you could do them, you could hire a service. So I'm going to bring that up in 1 second. And if you distract everybody for a moment.
Okay. Yeah, I know subtitles are incredibly important, and in fact, I absolutely must work on those, right? But otherwise, yeah, the cards and the end screen are just really great ways to. I mean, you get to talk about that more, Jonathan, but they're great ways to lead people to another video of yours. I always make sure that I include cards, especially at good strategic points in my videos. When I mention something, if I've made a video about that, I'll put a little card that appears, and then I hope that people will click on it if they want to find out more, and then they go and watch another one of my video. And yes, Jonathan, I see you found the screen you wanted.
I found the screen. And I just want to say, Todd, that's awesome that you still record on your phone, because I mean it's insane that people think that they have to buy $1,000. I mean, in all honesty, think about it this way. This is $1,000 phone camera. Like, how much does a phone cost nowadays? It is $1,000 camera that we carry around with us, and we should treat it as such. It is a tool. So that's awesome, Todd, that you're still using your phone, because we have a movie studio in our pocket wherever we go. So I think that's so powerful, and people don't even think about that anymore. But let me bring that up. See, so this is if you go to YouTube Studio, and you can just get it by just going to studio.youtube.com, or if you go to the top right corner, you could also get it from your little icon. You just click on YouTube Studio if you're at the regular YouTube site. You click on subtitles. See, why is it not bringing it up? There we go. Okay. One second. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not coming up.
I don't know why it's not coming up. That's kind of strange, isn't it?
Here we go. Just give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. So keep on talking for a second.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Oh, I think I got it. So
you got it? Okay.
So here we go. It's the arrow. YouTube has been changing a lot of these things. This is actually different than it was just the other day when I was last looking at this. So if you go to this, you click on your YouTube Studio, go to subtitles in the left-hand corner. This is also an option that you could find while you're uploading your video, but if you want to add it to old ones, just hit this little arrow that's down, brings this back down. See, it says English Automatic. Now, if you click Duplicate and Edit, I click that, it's going to bring up this page. Now, see, it's all the text that YouTube scanned. All this becomes searchable, and that's why I was saying it's so important for you to think about what you're saying in your videos, because it all becomes searchable. Now, I could do edit timing, and look, it breaks it up exactly what's going to show up in each card. Now, this is a 6-minute video, and this might take some time, but when you're getting started and you're, bootstrapping, it's a great way to do it. So I could go into this video, listen to this section, and adjust this as needed, section by section, if I wanted to. And then I'd have a free custom uploaded text. And then if I wanted to, I could also download it and put it into other things. There's other resources that you could use, like there's rev.com, which is a service. And I think that they charge like a little over $1 a minute. So if that's in your budget, that might be something. There's also things like a lot of people were actually talking about it today in one of the Clubhouse rooms that I was in. And we were talking about otter.io. And I could drop a link to that in the description if you're interested. But you could end up, you take Otter and you could just have it play next to it. It creates a very, very good closed captioning file that you could just send to yourself and then upload here. So these are a couple different hacks on how you could easily create a much more accurate closed caption file. And then YouTube, they're pushing closed captioning right now. They're aggressively pushing closed captioning. They want closed captioning. So if YouTube is telling you to do something, it's a sign that they want you to do it. And they're going to start pushing more content. For a while, they were pushing 4K content like crazy. So everybody was uploading everything in 4K. And, YouTube Shorts. So everybody was doing YouTube Shorts. Closed captioning is the thing that one of the main things that they're focusing on right now. So do it. So like I need to go back and do that on this video. I haven't gotten to it yet, which shame on me. But I think you get that idea. But I mean, I hope that makes sense. And you could just, when you're done, you just hit publish and you're good. So I'm going to go back to that slide real quick, but 1 second.
I've absolutely got to get to it as well, but I have been a bit lazy about it. I hate to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very, very valuable thing to add into your videos because, again, I want to hammer this in. YouTube cannot search like a visual thing, a video. It takes things out of the video and creates text, and that's what becomes searchable. That's how it is. It scans the video and creates things that can be searched in text. So I keep on saying it. All right. Now we were talking about. I'm going to move on to the next thing. We were talking about adding in how you would post it. So one thing that you could do. See, I have it unlisted. You could post your video as unlisted, and then you can go and pin that comment. Remember, I was talking about how you could pin a comment. And that can get somebody to actually click on it. What if you just like, man, I want as many people to see that pinned comment as possible. you can make your video unlisted, pin the comment, and then go back and schedule it. The pinned comment will disappear from the unlisted one. And when it goes live, the pinned comment will reappear. So then the second that your video goes live, you have that call to action in your comments already there. Even if you happen, like for instance, my videos, the best time for me to post my videos is my 4:30 a.m. I'm not always awake at 4:30 a.m. So I might not be there to post that pinned comment. So just all these little things. And the other two things that I wanted to go over were just these two things. You have the end card. An end card is what comes up at the very end of the video. It's usually just some calls to action to other videos, like what I have here. I have my YouTube growth playlist, and then I have what's best for viewer, and then a subscribe button. But in mine, I actually have a piece of like a graphic that I put that on top of, and then I'm able to like shift my video to the side. You don't have to do this. You can just have it pop up. I just choose to do it because it's what I do. It's my style, but in that way, I'm able to say, hey, if you got value out of this, go check out this video next. And, I hope to see so on and so forth. You get the idea, but it's all about how you're going to tell people to do what's next. And that's why those end cards are very important. Have end cards in every video, no matter what. And then the other thing is just cards. Just cards, you've seen them. They see how that, like this, you've seen these pop up on videos. There's a couple ways that you do that. If I reference, like I've mentioned several times in this video, hey, I'm going to do this. I'll drop something up here or in the description. You could use it that way. Or you could say, maybe you have a particular time that you're having a viewership drop off in your video. It's always better to have them go watch another one of your videos than it is to have them watch somebody else's. So it's always better to have them watch one of your videos next than to have them watch somebody else's. So if they're interested, maybe it's not right for them, that pops up. There, like some people that lose interest may click on it. Now you're keeping them on your channel and in your content, and they're going to see more points where they're going to be interested in your content. So add those in. No except. Add them in. So like I was talking about adding subtitles in manually or with services like Rev. Or Otter. I mentioned Otter. Otter is a great option. And I believe that they give you, I feel it's like 6 hours a month for free. So most of us don't make 6 hours of content every single month. So that might be a great option for people. I'll drop a link to that in the description if anybody's interested. And last, I think this is one of the last things that we were going to go over, right? But it's promoting your videos. This is also, I think we're talking about keyword research, promoting your videos and actually do that. But SEO, keyword research, they all are about promoting your video after the fact and the long-term life of your video. So talking about email list. Sophie, you have an email list. Do you email them every single time that you put out a new video?
Yeah, not every single time, but very regularly. Absolutely. I make sure that I let my email, the people who are on my email list know what's going on and what video content I've published. And that definitely gets me more views. Absolutely. And helps them out, I'm sure.
Yeah. You have to feel out what's best for your audience. And again, we're talking about YouTube being an audience, same as any time that you have an audience, whatever's best for them. If something's going to serve them, hey, blast it out to your email list and say, hey, I just made this new video. I know that you and I, Sophie, make a lot more videos. So some people might get alienated by, 5 emails a week from somebody that's posting 5 times a week. But if you post once a week or once a month, let your email list know. We're all on a different journey, but we're all on the same journey, if you know.
Exactly. You can also make a kind of once a week little newsletter saying, I publish these videos, click these links if you're interested. There's different ways of doing it. Absolutely.
Exactly. Oh, how's it going, Boz? Great to see you.
Sorry.
No, I was saying hi to Boz. I was said hi in the comments. Saying hi.
And I was just going to add, Jonathan, before that, in the beginning, I was very shy to do that. But I then realized that, if we don't tell people on our email list, for instance, if we don't tell them that we publish these videos, they probably won't know. And these videos, we're making them so that they just serve our audience, right? We're hoping to help them. So really, don't be shy about it. Tell your audience, because it will help them and they'll thank you.
So, and like, it's not just email lists. I mean, like anywhere that you have an audience, people that where your tribe lives, wherever your tribe lives, you could share. So like post to social media, you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all those different social platforms where you could post a link. You could do that, but just be aware that sometimes, like for instance, Facebook will throttle down if you were to post a link because they don't want people clicking off their platform. So there's different hacks and ways to get around that. And, we all just try those different things. One little hack that I've used on Facebook is I post a picture and I say, hey, if you want to see the video, let me know. And then I'll message them a link to the video. It's a little bit of work, but, especially somebody that's just getting started, that's a great way just to promote your video for free, 100% for free. And I think that you've done the same thing, right, Sophie?
Absolutely. And certainly on Facebook, if people, come up with a problem, they say, yay, Sophie, they send me a message and they ask, how do you do this or that? Then I'll often say, well, actually, I made a video. Do you mind if I send you the link? And usually they say, oh, yes, please. And then I'll send them the link, or same in groups. You can offer that if it's allowed in the group, of course, to share links. Then you can do that if people are asking about it and you've got a video that could help them.
And I think an important thing that you just said, Sophie, is that you asked first.
Yeah.
You asked for permission to send it to them. Don't just spam a bunch of people that you're friends with on Facebook. Don't do that. Because you know what I do when somebody spams me a YouTube link? I either ignore them, I block them. I don't want anything to do with that. And I'm not the only one. You need to actually think of, is this video going to serve this person? Because I'm not after just one view. I'm after creating somebody that's going to become a super fan, somebody that I could serve, somebody that 10 years from now is still going to be watching my video because I've been delivering so much value. That's the person that I want to connect with. That's the person that I want to watch my video. If it's not the right video for them, I don't even want them to watch it. I want them to watch what's right for them. Bottom line. And I know that you're the same way, Sophie. That's why we get along.
Absolutely. It's so exactly. It's so important. Absolutely. Yeah. You make a great point there.
So, and this is another one. We were talking about this a little earlier, but host a Clubhouse room. Think about it this way. If you have a video that you just did on a topic and you think that people are going to be interested in it, and then you host a room, it's free. Anybody could be on this platform, and they just opened up to Android as well. So anybody, Android phone, and I actually found an app that you could run it off your computer if you wanted to. Hey, let me know in the comments if you want me to make a video about that. I've been interested. I just don't want to do it if nobody's interested. But you just think about it. If you have a video and people are like, "Oh man, how do you do this?" and then you say, "Hey man, I just made a video about this topic, so just go check it out. Here's my YouTube channel." Those people have already shown up because they want the answer to this question. Now the creator is there answering their questions. Say, "Hey, check this video out. I go into deep detail." And then if you have any more questions, just reach out to me. Like, be honest. And it's not anything unethical. It's just, you're just sharing. You're sharing. And if somebody is not interested, they won't show up. So.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And I think,
sorry, I just wanted to ask, if you hold a Clubhouse room around a topic, and then people find it super valuable, and then they might really appreciate the recap, going to watch the video, that reminds them of all the points. So it's a great way it's really a great way.
Yeah, and if you guys are ever interested, Sophie and I host a lot of rooms on Clubhouse around YouTube. So if you're ever interested, I'll throw the link in the description. It's our club is called YouTube Empire, and we host a lot of rooms about similar topics around YouTube on there. So if you're ever interested, please join us on Clubhouse, the YouTube Empire Club. But
absolutely, come and join us.
Right. Exactly, and free value. Always happy to help. Always happy to answer questions. So another one's post to blogs. Like it could be your blog, it could be somebody else's blog that is allowing you to post. But it's also, you could also create a blog post on the same topic as your video. And what that does is then you could potentially put a link to that blog post in your YouTube description, and then that creates a backlink for your blog. And then you could also create, you can put your YouTube link into your blog, and that creates a backlink for your YouTube video cross promotion. So wherever you have an audience, it's probably a similar audience in your blog if you're in the same niche as you are on your YouTube channel. So, yeah. And then this is another one. This we're almost done. Don't worry, it was a long video, but promoting old videos. You don't want to just focus on the videos that you're currently, like, this came out. Like I want to show you an example. You have different things like promoting on Facebook groups. We were talking about this earlier. You could promote in Facebook groups. It could be yours, others, Discord, online communities, things like that. You could promote in those communities. And I know that Sophie was talking about how you can go to a Facebook group and somebody asks a question. Don't just post a link. Just listen to them and say, hey, you had this question. I do have a video if you're interested. If they say no, no worries. Don't worry about it. It's fine. They're not going to be, if they're not interested, maybe sometime down the road, once you've given a little bit more value in that Facebook group, they will like they will want to watch your video because you've been there. You've shown up, you've arrived, like people are, if you're there, then people will connect with you more. If you're not there, then nobody's going to connect with you and actually form a relationship. So, and Discord is actually a big one that a lot of communities on Discord and any online community really, like we were talking about Quora earlier. Can't speak right now. We were talking about Quora earlier, and that's all about answering questions. You could either create posts yourself, or you could see what people are asking questions, and then if it's okay, you could always post a link, but always check if it's okay to post a link in whatever community you're in. So, and then this is honestly, if you have 1,000 subscribers or more on YouTube, I know that that's not everybody has that, but if you do, you have access to the community tab. And the community tab, it's basically it's kind of like think of it like the Facebook feed or something like that, where you're able to post things and it will put the video, your posts in front of your subscribers, as well as people that YouTube thinks would be interested in your content. So not subscribers. It's same ways like the recommended algorithm. So for instance, this is one of my posts that I had just done. So I was able to do a poll and actually ask them questions. We were talking about earlier, we're figuring out questions. Hey, which video do you want me to make next? This one, this one, this one. People will vote on it and tell you what they want to make next. You don't have to guess. It's there. They're telling you. And then look at this. I just promoted, this video is a month old, and I posted this about a month later. So what if somebody is a new subscriber? Maybe somebody didn't see the original video. They might see it in the feed, and then this might give new life to an older video. It could even be years old if it's a video that's still going to give value. I'd say don't just spam this, but definitely start rolling out different, roll out those videos sporadically that will give them new life.
Yeah, that's right. Just remind people of the content you have, right? It's as simple as that. Just saying, hey, this might be useful. If you enjoy this one, you might enjoy this one. And it's powerful, really brilliant.
Talking about JJ, I could either make a video or show you the computer app for Clubhouse. Let me know. We'll chat. We'll chat on Discord. We were talking about good communities on Discord. I met JJ through Discord. There's a perfect example of meeting people and forming communities through different platforms and bringing them together. So don't think that you just have to be on YouTube. You could be on all these places and it could all lead to YouTube or whatever you're doing, whatever platform you're trying to grow. So it's very important. So yeah, we'll talk
like
later. So that was the training that we wanted to get to today, and I hope that you guys got a lot of value. And I'll say, hey, I wanted to thank Sophie for joining me today, and she's always bringing so much value. You should check her out on Millionaire Mom. I actually tagged her in the description of this video, so be sure to check her out. And again, if you got value out of this, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. In the comments, leave any comments. If you have any questions or anything like that, I also have a Q&A that I'm going to be doing as a live. If you want to get your questions in earlier, I also have a link in the description for that Q&A. Just submit your questions so I can make sure that I have them prepped. So I'll also answer questions live. But if you want to submit them ahead of time and maybe you can't make the live, that way you'll make sure that I answer those questions. And yeah, thank you again. And hey, I'm going to just prove it, like, hey, watch one of, let me see, one of these videos, or how are you going to do it? One of the videos that show up at the top, watch one of those next, because if you got value out of this, I'm sure you're going to get value out of that. And I will see you in the next one. And thanks again, Sophie, for joining me, and take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.